promised land was never promised. If I can be honest, I've been broke since way before my inner conscience was conscious. I never spoke about it, family always stayed silent. But I'm a riot, if peace won't change it, I'm going violent. This light of mine stays on the horizon. Under the sun is where I shine the brightest. When working hard, niggas stay grinding. All for some petty change, enough to keep the family made. Minimum wage with no food to eat like we on a diet. Well, bitch, I'm dying, starving for a piece of chicken. These hard times, niggas can't sleep because we never winning. These hard times, niggas been preaching for a better living. In times where we be pretending like we out here pimping. Our lives twisted, the opposite of how it seems. We supposed to be happy, but we slack as the American dream. Got most niggas lacking dead bodies tucked under every street. Got most niggas packing like we traveling strapped for overseas. That's over me, stuck at a 9 to 5, then go to sleep. Woke up after 3 with some broken jeans, holes in the knees, clothed in polo jeans with some Dr. Scholl's rolled on my feet. I walk out feeling clean, heavy Listerine, smell of Febreze. These hard times come with a cost. I thought slavery was abolished, they remodeled what they lost. Pay no homage to my mindset, I know how time gets involved. It's like a cycle, how our life goes, better caught, so you gotta chase it. No time wasted, I promised I'd give all to make it. Came up from the bottom, scraping dimes to pop off all locations. Told mama I'ma be famous, her heart racing. Her baby boy is off making changes with every statement he made. This promised land was never promised. If I can be honest, I've been broke since way before my inner conscience was conscious. I never spoke about it, family always stayed silent. But I'm a riot, if peace won't change it, I'm going violent. You can't blame me for opening. Gotta let some light shine, cause there's more to see. An open mouth, cause there's more to feed. People speaking over crowds, which I oversee. You can't blame me for opening. Gotta let some light shine, cause there's more to see. An open mouth, cause there's more to feed. People speaking over crowds, which I oversee.
What's up, Lafayette? What's up, Cecilia? Bro, it's your boy BWILL.
This promised land was never promised. If I can be honest, I've been broke since way before my inner conscience was conscious.
Can't reach a promised land, working for another man. I'm turning in and meeting down under 100 grand. I know my value and my worth, employers don't understand. Dropping $1 million worth of game with the fam. I remember back then thinking a meal would be incredible. Whipping a pot like it's crack, but it's edible. Stay consistent until the grind made me credible. Thinking like, fuck this, I'm trying to be my own CEO. Now back at work having no purpose in my cubicle, until I build that blueprint for no pharmaceuticals. Keep grinding and stay consistent like it's your fucking last. And light a blunt and check out HydroConvo's podcast. We out here stacking bread like it's a fucking bakery, trying to avoid the constant cycle of waste slavery. I seen the hood destroy a lot of young brothers' dreams. All-star players turning into fucking crack fiends. Always been the victim of work discrimination. That's why I invested into my own corporation. So fuck a promised land, address your team, build a plan and manifest your dreams.
You gotta take the risk.
What's up, H-Town?
This promised land was never promised. If I can be honest, I've been broke since way before my inner conscience was conscious. I never spoke about it, family always stayed silent. But I'm a riot, if peace won't change it, I'm going violent.
You can't blame me for smoking this. My whole business plan is built off of cannabis. You got a dream, you should take the risk. You got one life to live, then it's over with. You can't blame me for smoking this. My whole business plan is built off of cannabis. You got a dream, you should take the risk. You got one life to live, then it's over with.
We have a huge guest today on HydroConvo, everyone. Successful cannabis entrepreneur and owner of Weedies Cereals.com. His products are amazing and different from the competitors because of its unique marketing and highly reviewed products. First off, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate this very much, brother. This was a blessing for us. And you're such a huge, cannabis player in the industry, dropping some knowledge down for our audience. I mean, I'm grateful for it.
Yeah. I'm grateful for coming on the show and everything, and whatever I can do, to promote the brand, promote what you got going on, and just give back knowledge to people that may be trying to get into the market, or just trying to just be an entrepreneur in general.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, and it's so hard to get by right now because there's a lot of people in the industry, but not everybody is able to help or don't want to help. So I'm very appreciative of this. So I just want to ask you a few questions today to kind of pick your brain a little bit.
Yeah, no problem. One of the things that I've seen in this industry, but I see it goes on in a lot of other industries, is the fact that people don't want to help people that are trying to get into the industry, and they don't want to give knowledge out. They don't want to give that information. I'm not sure if it's from just the lack of not having the time, or if it's just people just are looking at you as competition, or if it's a combination of both. From what I've seen, it's very discouraging to know that someone has the information that you need in the industry that you're trying to get into, and then they won't help you. I remember when I was first getting into getting the company up and running and started, there was a big cannabis brand out of Colorado. And
okay.
I'm not sure.
You're gonna drop the name.
Say it again.
I said okay. I wasn't sure if you was gonna drop the name. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't, but I go ahead and drop the name because I'm not sure if they're still around. But I feel like it plays to the character. But if a person knows, a brand or a company that's, either doing racist stuff or they're not, not really giving back to the community, I mean, surely everyone should know. That way we won't support that brand.
Exactly. Definitely.
Yeah, and that's what happened with them. They actually, told me straight up that they wouldn't help me because they looked at me as competition.
That's kind of an insult and a compliment at the same time.
Yes, it was because they didn't realize by them telling me that, it was like, I was like, well, I'm not just gonna go away, just because if you don't help me, I'm still gonna go forward. It's not like if you don't help me, I'm just gonna shut down, pack up everything, and just move on to a different project or a different industry. No, that actually, made me want to clamp down even harder, to show them I'm not going anywhere and that I'm still going to go even without their help.
Right.
Yeah. But I had ended up getting in contact with them through a dispensary, through another dispensary out in Thousand Oaks, which is right outside of Los Angeles. I had been going out there, but before, just to give you a little, give you and your audience a little bit of information about that. It was before it became rec out here in California. In January 1st of 2018, it was medical, and it had been medical since 1996, and that was voted in by the people. And so at that time, we had to have a medical card. You have to have a medical card to go into a dispensary and purchase or whatever.
Yeah.
And so what I would do is I would go around to different dispensaries, and they had the whole process set up differently. You could be making edibles, you could be growing flower out of your backyard, you could be making edibles in your home. There was a lot of different ways that you could be doing things, and all you had to do was go to a dispensary and ask to speak to the buyer, and then tell the buyer that you were basically a vendor, that you had products that you want to sell them. And if they looked at your products and they liked them, they could basically put them inside the dispensary and sell them. It was totally different than what it is now, where, you basically have to have a license from the state, depending on what you are. There's 5 different licenses from grower, manufacturer. There's 2 different types of manufacturing, a dispensary and delivery service. But now they want you to have, like, if you want to make edibles, you got to have a manufacturing license. But then you got to also source all your ingredients from a cultivator or slash grower. Get everything from him, and everything has to be inside of the metric system, where they're actually like watching everything and seeing what you're purchasing, and then what you're turning, whatever it is that you purchase, what are you turning that into, as far as what kind of products you're turning it into. So they're kind of like watching everything. So it's a little bit harder. Plus, you can't just go up to the dispensaries and ask to speak to a buyer and actually, sell them products. You have to go through the distributor. Distributor has to do all of that. So it kind of makes it a lot harder, because now as an entrepreneur, you can't make sure that your products are sold to people. You have to rely on another person. You have to rely on the distributor to sell your products.
Who has other brands as well, right?
Who has other brands. So this distributor might have 50 brands that he's carrying. And if he just take on your brand, he's going to naturally gravitate toward the brands that are already selling. So you're paying him to have your brand and to have it on his menu, but he's not really focusing on selling it and pushing it to the dispensaries, because he's just pushing him the top 5 brands that have already been selling. And that's what, it makes it a little bit more difficult than what it already is. It's already difficult, and now they're adding another difficult step on it. Why do I have to rely on the distributor to sell my product to dispensaries? Why can't I just sell dispensaries myself? So, and that's what it's just another headache in the business. But also too, anybody that's looking to get in this industry should get into something unique, which bring us back to my product, because a lot of people, they want to get into the cannabis business as soon as they found out they were going to make it rec legal. Because a lot of people don't really understand that it was already legal before it was rec, when it was medical.
Right. You just had to have your card, right?
You just had to have your card. Now, with rec, they say it's legal because the state actually gives you a license. But it was the same thing when it was medical. They actually gave you a license. It just didn't have a metric system where they was regulating it. But you still went to the city. You still got a license from the city, and you still paid taxes on it, on all your sales and stuff like that. So a lot of people jump into the industry and they're like, when I ask them, I'm like, well, what do you want to do? Like, I want to sell weed. I'm like, well, shit. Everybody is selling weed that started a cannabis business. You have to have something unique, which is why I came in with the cereal. I seen that a lot of people, because before it was rec, when it was medical, there were places in LA that had 8 dispensaries right next door to each other. They were shopping centers that literally had 8 dispensaries. Like, you would walk into one dispensary, they're selling an 8 for $75. You walk out, go to the one on the side of it, and they're selling their 8 for $65. The next one is selling theirs for $55. The next one is selling for $25. And I'm like, man, y'all like undercutting everybody here. It's like, how y'all gonna make any money if at the end this guy is selling his 8 for $35? Why would I pay $75 at the first guy when I could go to the end and pay for $35? It just wasn't making any sense. So I wanted to have something that was unique. I've seen a lot of people, like I said, that was doing flour, selling flour. They were selling edibles like gummies, cereal bars, brownies, cookies. But all of those things, all of those edibles are very easy to make. And I wanted to make something that was a lot harder and I wouldn't have any competition. So I said, well, I want to do cereal, because people who smoke, we love cereal. And I'm like, so why not mix the two? Yeah. And so that's what I did. I combined.
That's very niche.
Yes.
Niche market right there.
Yeah, and then I did all the now going back to the company, the reason why I ended up talking to Edgar is because they were making like edible cereal. But what they were doing, and that's why I was going to them asking for help, but what they did is something totally different than what I did. They was actually taking like Lucky Charms and stuff that they
not
were
original.
using. It wasn't original, and I wanted something
Yeah.
totally different, which is I do original. So all of our cereal is flavored. So whatever it is that you buy, whatever flavor that you get, that's the flavor that you're gonna have. So let's say you get like the Snoop Dogg green apple Kush, where the cereal actually tastes like green apple. Let's say you get like the Wiz Khalifa banana Kush, the cereal is actually gonna taste like banana. Or you get like the Cuban Doll cotton candy, the cereal is actually gonna taste like cotton candy. And so on. We have like the Blue Face, blueberries. We have the Powwow. We was originally doing for Powwow. We was originally doing French vanilla flavor. We just changed that to peanut butter. Let me see what else. We were working on one with Slim 400 before he ended up passing away, which was going to be like a mango flavored cereal.
Oh yeah, that would have been a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, so we do about 25 different flavors at the moment. We try to do a lot of exotic flavors. I think one time we had made an exotic batch that was horchata flavored cereal, and we did one that was churro flavored cereal also.
I mean, every one I tried tastes amazing, and what I like about it is the flavoring literally is unique. You know, just the punch that it hits you with, that right there is worth every dollar of it. But the taste
so that's what we definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to have it where there's the different flavors, and that there was enough where a person can get, like, let's say they got a box for this week, they try this flavor, next week they try a different flavor. I wanted to keep people coming back. I wanted them to keep trying exotic flavors that they didn't have anywhere else. Plus, I wanted to keep it original with the not only with the flavors but with the different wrappers. So and I felt like that would keep the brand popping also, because like every 6 months is a new wrapper out. Every year is a new wrapper that's at the top of his game or whatever. So I figured I could keep the brand fresh, because as a new wrapper come, we could do a design with a new wrapper, do a new deal with a new wrapper, and then that'll push the brand and keep the brand fresh. I wanted, and that's another thing I wanted to do. I wanted to focus on being a real hip hop brand, cannabis brand, for the people, by the people, and not a lot. What I see what's going on right now is a lot of people coming into the industry that isn't from the industry. Like, they didn't grow up like us. They weren't already in cannabis. They were corporate people that jumped in the market and wanted to be just like make all this money off of us.
And they should be the last to profit. Yeah, you're right.
They should have been. That's what, and it's funny you say that, because that's what they originally came to us with. When they came to us in 2016 and told us to vote on Prop 64 and that it was going to affect 2018, they literally, Governor Newsom and them, they literally told us that, okay, for the first if y'all pass this, for the first 5 years, no corporation will be able to get in. It would only be for the minorities, the blacks, Mexicans, and Asians, as and you had to prove that you were poor, and it was going by your address. So they would verify by your address that was on your license or your identification. And then as soon as we passed it, I mean, it's like they totally changed it. It was like they started hitting you with all these fees. Gotta pay this, gotta pay that, gotta do this.
Yeah.
Like in Long Beach.
Damn well this. Yeah.
Yeah, like in Long Beach, they say the easiest license to get is a delivery service license. But in Long Beach, they say you can't have a delivery service license unless you have a dispensary license. But they only gave out like 5 licenses for dispensaries in Long Beach, and to get dispensary license, they wanted you to have $1 million in your bank account, and they wanted to see your bank statement so they could verify it. So I'm like, well, that knock out all the blacks and Mexicans, because you all are telling us that we have to have a dispensary license, but you only gave out 5, and we already know who you gave them to. And so now you totally knock us out of the playing field, and it goes by your address. So you're like, okay, well now I can't get in under equity because you already gave out everything for Long Beach, and I live in Long Beach, and so now I can't go and apply in LA for LA because I have a Long Beach address. So it was like just little games that they was playing like that they was catching so many people off guard with it that I seen.
It's like their way of kind of still monopolizing the market.
Yeah, they did. It was their way of really monopolizing. And that's another reason why I've kept pushing, because I'm like, man, I have to keep going, and I have to keep the brand going. And my goal is to get the brand as a national brand. And so that's another reason why I'm kind of looking at some other things as far as doing the cereal with CBD, going back to doing the cereal with CBD, and also some other stuff like HHC that I've ran across that's still legal in all the states or whatever, because I want to be able to push the brand, and I want to get the brand national. I want to get the brand national, a household name as a cannabis brand for doing cereal and cereal bars.
Oh, yes. Especially with that name. I mean, that name just itself is creative as
hell.
Yeah,
and that's another thing. I wanted to get a name that everybody, that is unique, and everybody understood what it is the business was, and that I wasn't, doing anything else as far as like advertising to children and stuff like that. If you, because there's some names, I won't call the company names, but there's some company names out there that, if you walk up to a kid and you tell a kid, like a 2-year-old, 3-year-old kid, the company name, they'll actually confuse it with food and they'll want it. Versus if you tell a 3-year-old like Weedies, oh, you want some Weedies? The kid is going to look at you kind of confused. They're not going to know what you're talking about. But if you said the name Weedies to someone that was 18, 19, 20, 21, they obviously they'll know exactly what you're talking about when you say Weedies. And so I tried to do it on not only just a business level, but I tried to do it on a moral level also.
Yes, and even on your packaging, I mean, you can see the warnings very clearly on everything. So, I mean, you do your best on the child-proof and just the safety precautions on everything. Yes,
of course.
Yeah. So I want to jump in real quick. I want to start off with you kind of telling us about yourself right now, but how you came about creating such a successful brand like Weedies. That kind of touched on that a little bit, but I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I can kind of go in a little bit more detail. So basically, what had happened was I had 2 smoke shops before I did this, and I noticed when I had the smoke shop, I noticed that people kept coming in, they were buying the same products. And so I was like, I wanted to switch to something. I wanted to go to something where I can make a product in one place and then be able to sell it all over the United States or the world if possible. And so I wanted to make a product. So I was brainstorming. I was at another smoke shop with a friend that had another smoke shop, and we were just bouncing ideas off of each other's heads, trying to figure out what is a product that we can come with that I could do. And then all of a sudden I got the idea, Weedies. And I was like, man, hold up. Let me go and check this out. Can you hold on right quick?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So you said that's how you came up with the idea for Weedies.
Yeah, so that's how I came up with the idea. That's how I came for the name of Weedies and the idea. And then what I ended up doing was I jumped back to my smoke shop, and I jumped on the computer and I started looking up like the name Weedies and stuff, trying to see if anybody had used the name and they were doing a cereal or whatever. And what I found is like a lot of like Photoshop stuff where people had kind of played with the name with like Michael Phelps. They put him on a box that they had photoshopped because he had got caught smoking weed or whatever, lost some endorsements and stuff like that. So I was like, oh shit, this is a really popular name. It's a really cool name, but no one has done anything with it for real. And so that's when I did it. I grabbed the name. I started working on the cereal. Started trying to figure out how was I going to come with different flavors, different exotic flavors. And mind you, I had never made edibles before in my life, so everything literally was like new,
brand new to you.
I was learning everything from scratch, trying to figure out everything from scratch. I was like, okay, let me try to figure this out. Let me try to put this stuff together. So that's what I started doing. I started. I had
That's impressive.
I think I had like about $30,000 saved at the time that I was going to use to throw at the project. And so I just kind of I started talking to people, and I started asking people what they thought about the name and about the product. And so what I ended up doing was, a lot of people liked the name, a lot of people liked the idea. So I said, okay, I need to go a little bit further. So what I did was I bought a vehicle, I bought a van, and I got it wrapped with the name Weedies. And kid you not, I had no product. I did not know how to even make the product, but I got a van wrapped with the name Weedies and everything on it, and I drove around to different smoke shops, dispensaries, and I started asking. I would go in and ask for the owner or the buyer and ask them and tell them, hey, I got this idea for a product called Weedies. This is what it is. It's edible cereal. If I had this product, would you buy? And so they would tell me yes or tell me no. And if they told me yes, I would get them to sign a purchase order saying that and I would tell them it's non-binding. This is just for my records. So I would know once I make this product, and I would come back. I could come back to you and say, hey, you remember you talked about the product, whatever, that you wanted to get it. So I would get them to sign it, whether they would buy. I didn't even know how much it was going to cost to make a box of cereal, but I just kind of like, I don't know. I think I just made up a number or whatever for the price, and was like, yeah, just, if you want to get 10 at this price, if you want to get 100, or you want to get 200 boxes, or want to get 50 boxes or 10 boxes. Because I didn't put a limit on it. If you want to get only 5 boxes, some people actually signed a purchase order where they only wanted 5 boxes, because they was like, well, we want to sample it first. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I didn't want to put any roadblocks for people, that wanted to like sample it at these different stores, because I didn't even know myself if I could even make the product. Now remember, this was just an idea. So
concept at the time, yeah.
I did that for a month and a half, and after a month and a half, I think I had about 35,000 in purchase orders.
Fuck.
And that's when I said, oh shit, I'm on to something. Now, mind you, I still don't even know if I can make the product. I'm still kind of like, I'm kind of like faking it. I'm saying I can do it, but I don't really know if I can do it. And actually, a shop wanted to pay me for their order up front. And I actually told the guy, I was like, no, I don't want to take any of your money, because I want to be honest with you. Since you're saying that you want to pay me right now, I still don't know exactly how I'm going to make this product. I'm still trying to figure it out. So, but I appreciate it, and I'll definitely be coming back to you, to sell you the product if when I make it. And
man, that's fucking
so
brilliant.
that's what I did. I ended up, like I said, just kind of just messing around like that. I ended up figuring out the product. I was in Boyle Heights. I was in Boyle Heights at that time. I was living in Boyle Heights, which is like East Los Angeles at the time. And I made a batch of the product, which was, I think we made, what did we make? first. I think it was the Green Apple. We made it back to the Green Apple. It came out right. I kind of tested it on myself. It was like 4 or 5 of us that was there. I tested it on myself, and I got high as fuck. I was happy. I was like, oh shit, this shit worked. And yeah, so it was like I remember literally, like, I went back in there. We were making different batches of it, and I remember like dancing. I was high as fuck, dancing and shit. I was happy. I was proud that I had actually made it. Yeah. And then we went out, like a couple of days later, we went out to different places that we had already kind of talked to, and we did a couple sales. I think that first week we went back to a couple of places. We didn't do a lot, but I think we did somewhere around 1,500 in sales that first week.
Shit.
And then I was like, well, it is what it is. You know, we supposed to go with it.
See, that's brilliant. It's almost like you ran your own focus group, you know, your own marketing focus group for the product.
Yeah, I guess so. I did. You know, at times there was at times I kind of doubted. Didn't know if I could pull it off or not. Especially once I got the purchase orders, and then I started trying to figure out. I started really clamping down on trying to figure out how to actually make the product, and that's why I started reaching out. I just started kind of like reaching out to different. I was sending emails to different companies, and just trying to figure it out. With that one company that I had mentioned, I had ended up meeting up with them, I think like three or 4 times, a couple of different places in Los Angeles, and then I met them a couple of different places in San Diego, trying to see if we could come out with something before they ended up just. I don't think that company is around anymore. Or they changed it.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah. And
now I know we talked about the cereals, but anything else you'll be offering?
Yes, we did. I kind of started because we had a lot of people that was asking about different edibles and stuff like that. So we kind of branched off to like gummies. So first we started doing cereal boards, then we started doing gummies, and then we kind of branched off into doing like moon rocks, different types of cannabis flower and stuff like that. And how we ended up getting in and starting doing the gummies, I actually got a phone call from a guy that had he told me he had 6 or 7 stores, and he's seen us online, and he's seen a lot of stuff that we was doing online on Instagram, and he liked what we were doing, and that he wanted to make a purchase. And so I was like, well, we don't do gummies. And he was like, oh, man, I would really like you to do gummies. Do you think you could do gummies? Because I like your brand. And I was like, well, I would assume we could, just depending on how big the order is or whatever. And, he made like a $10,000 order. He was like, well, I can make a $10,000 order, just to test your product out. So I'm like, well, shit, okay. Yeah, I guess we're doing gummies now. Hell yeah. So he was like, and I kid you not, he was like, he gave me his credit card number over the phone. He was like, okay, run it for $5,000 for the deposit, and when you finish and you're sending the product out, you run it for the other $5,000. And so I did. That's what I did. I took his credit card information. We ended up getting off the phone. We didn't even stay on the phone that long. I ended up running it after we got off the phone. I ran his card. I sent him a text message, let him know that the payment went through, and that I would call him or text him when the product was ready, and that I would be sending it out, and then I would run it again. And so he was like, okay, that was it. So we ended up making a product. I ended up making a product probably about like a week and a half later. I ended up calling him, letting him know that it was ready. The product was going to start shipping out, and then I ran it for the other $5,000. And that's how we got into. That's how we got into doing gummies.
Gummies, yeah. Now I tell you one thing that's really intriguing to me, and I'm ready for this answer. I see that you got the huge branding partnerships with the huge hip hop artists, right?
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg, Paul Wall, Wiz Khalifa, Lil Wayne, Cuban Doll, Blueface, Corrupt, The Game. Could you explain how this kind of came about?
Okay, so the first person that actually kind of came to us was a guy that was a rapper by the name of Marcosis, which is signed to Snoop label. Once again, he'd seen what we was doing on Instagram and stuff like that, and he actually reached out to me in the DM and was like, "Hey, I see your brand. I see what you're doing. I'm signed to Snoop's label. You know, I want to talk to you. Let's see if we can do some type of collab or whatever." And that's how that ended up going about. And we ended up doing a huge show in downtown LA, where we had Ray J, Cassidy, Snoop's son, and a lot of other different rappers that ended up coming. Yeah, and promoting the brand. The same thing with Cuban Doll. That was a DM. I mean, she ended up. I ended up sending her DM. And kind of asked her about it or whatever, because I seen that she smokes. So if I see a rapper that's into cannabis, that's smoking weed, and they're not scared to post it on their social media, then I'm going after them. I'm sending them a DM like, "Hey, can we work? Let's work. Let's do something." So that's what I ended up doing.
Not gonna get fed, yeah.
Yeah, I ended up sending her a DM. I mean, I kid you not, it was like 2 a.m, and I was like, fuck, man, it's probably, I'm fucking probably way out of line. It's 2 a.m, and fucking I'm gonna just send a DM. You know, fucking probably gonna hit me back. It's like, why the fuck you DM me at 2 a.m. or whatever? But I was like, fuck it. So I ended up sending her a DM, and she responded. And I was like, oh shit, I damn near.
How long it took? How long it took?
For her to respond, like she literally responded like I don't know, like it was a couple minutes. She responded back. I was like, oh shit, she fucking responded, and it was crazy because she actually responded. And then I was kind of tripping out, and that was the same thing with a lot of different other rappers. But the same thing with Pow Wow. Like with Pow Wow, that was somebody that was at one of the shops that knew him. And when I went in there to sell the product to them, and we started talking, they was like, "Hey, well, we know Pow Wow." And I was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Man, I'm pretty sure he would love this product. Let me give him a call, and if he liked the product, I could set up a meeting with y'all, and y'all can work something out." So I was like, "Okay, cool." And that's what I'm saying. But I'm like, "Oh man, this guy got a lot of shit going on. Probably see that but who knows what's gonna happen or whatever." So when the guy ended up calling me back, he was like, "Man, I talked to Pow Wow, like he loved it. Yes, he want to meet you, and let's see if we can make something happen." So like, oh shit, okay, cool. So we ended up setting up to go meet him, and we was at the shop and we was waiting on him, and he was supposed to show up at a certain time, but he didn't. And so the guy was like, "Well, let me call him," because I think we had got there like me and one of my boys had got there like an hour early or whatever. So we waiting. You know, obviously we kind of anxious. We don't want to be late. You know, this nigga got a lot of shit he doing and stuff like that. So while we're waiting, the time ended up coming. We waited for the hour or whatever. He didn't show up. So he was like, so the guy was like, "Well, let me call him and see what's going on." So he ended up calling. I think he didn't answer the phone the first time the guy called. So I kind of got a little nervous. I'm like, God damn, I'm like shit. Yeah. So, but he ended up calling again. And he did ask, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm on my way. I'm just running late, and I'll be there." So we ended up waiting. I think he didn't show up for like another hour or so. And it was funny because when he walked in, he had his head down. So really we all anxious. So we watching everybody that come in. So when he walked in, he walked his head down. We was like, "Damn, is that him or what?" You know, we kind of looking at each other and shit. And all of a sudden he raised his head up, and it was like, "Oh shit, this is Paul."
Yeah, you know it's Paul Wall when that that grill was probably out, you know. Yeah,
so that's how it ended up happening. He liked the brand. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, he definitely one of the realest rappers out there as far as him just really wanting to just push the brand. Him just wanting to help. He sees some entrepreneurs. He see me, you know, trying to make something happen, trying to do something different or whatever. And he you know, got behind it. He promoted it. He put it in. So far, he's put it in 2 of his songs. Yeah. So it's like I said, he really a real dude.
Oh yeah, he's solid. He's solid.
It's really about helping people out and stuff like that. Let me see. Another person. Sadly, he ended up getting killed out here in LA, which was Slim 400.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Slim 400. That was another situation where a guy that I know, it's like they like cousins or something, and he ended up telling me, he was like, yeah, man, I can get Slim 400 to, you know, to push the brand, help you push the brand, and also and stuff like that. So that's how I ended up meeting Slim also too, and that was another guy. Well, Slim's cousin, I ended up meeting him through Instagram also. He seen the brand and he liked it or whatever. He ended up hitting me up. I ended up going to meet him and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, I can get Slim to do to push the brand, do some stuff for you and stuff like that. So, and that's how I ended up meeting Slim. He ended up getting in contact with Slim. I ended up meeting Slim. I ended up meeting Slim somewhere downtown LA. I can't remember exactly. It was just a. We didn't meet at a restaurant or anything in particular. We kind of just met out in the open, somewhere, and then the second time I ended up meeting him, we ended up meeting at like a soul food restaurant, in downtown LA, and and everything was once again like, you know, Slim was just like a regular laid back person. I actually before he ended
down
up
to earth.
Killed, yeah, just like 2 weeks before he ended up getting killed, I was at his cousin house, the one that had introduced me to him. And when I walked in, you know, Slim was just on the couch, just watching TV, just smoking weed, just
chilling out.
Yeah. So so that's how I ended up meeting these people. I definitely can say through the Instagram, you could if you're doing a type of business where you really trying to reach out to, let's say, different celebrities and stuff like that to help promote your brand. I definitely would say that Instagram is definitely a big help because it has helped me. But it is a double-edged sword also because it'll help you, but then also it'll block you because I do cannabis products. They do have my page shadow banned on the back end, and that's why a lot of my videos have become stagnant. Where in the beginning I was getting 30, 40K views, you know, now they didn't knock me back. They didn't knock me down to getting, you know, 1,500, 2K, 2,500, 3,000 views, and stuff like that. So
and hard to run ads on a national level as well.
Yeah, well they won't even let you run ads or anything because of it being a cannabis brand, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, now even on Google. You can't run ads if you got a cannabis brand.
Exactly.
So it's definitely hard. So that's why you need the influencers. You need people that have, and they don't have to be big people like these rappers that I'm talking about. They could be, because there's a lot of influencers that are smaller that a lot of people don't know, but they have a lot of following. Like they may have 100K, 200K, 300K followers. Our biggest video that went viral, which happened in November. Which I hate that we wasn't selling again at that time. And this just happened like in November, so it was about 6-7 months ago. We got 5.4 million views on that video. We got 1.7 million likes. Damn near 60,000 shares of that. So
that's some good analytics right there. That's some fantastic analytics.
Yeah. And that, you know, and this is all organic. This isn't even paid. This isn't any type of paid advertising. This is all organic. So, yeah.
You know what artists I would want to work with if I could team up with them to do a brand with them, kind of put them on the front of everything would be Larry June.
I'm not familiar with.
Not familiar? Okay. He out there in Cali too, and kind of like one, a good rapper, but also has the organic lifestyle. So I think that would just play out perfect with no pharmaceuticals in us. So, yeah. So that would be my kind of go-to with him.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look him up.
Oh yeah, he's a beast.
Okay, yeah.
And so I wanted to throw out one thing. What advice would you give someone like me with a brand new innovative brand like No Pharmaceuticals entering the cannabis industry for the first time?
I would say the first thing is to make sure that you're dedicated to going all the way and not giving up, because there's a lot of roadblocks, a lot of stuff that's going to happen that's going to discourage you and want to stop you from doing your project and want you to give up and kind of cause you to give up and even question yourself. But I would say just keep going, because always at that time when you feel like you're at that breaking point of giving up, that's when something happens and it gives you that boost. Again,
it's like the test before the success.
Yeah. So just don't give up. Make sure you're doing something innovative, but not too innovative, because sometimes if you're too innovative, you got to create that trail, and a lot of people might not understand what it is that you're doing and stuff.
And you have to sell it too hard to everybody to where they can't. Without you being there, it's like they don't even know what the product is here for,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, I appreciate your time very much today. Anything else you want to plug out or say? I'm going to have your website, of course, on the details and on the podcast info.
I guess to let people know they can go to our website, www.weediescereals.com. That's with the S on the end of cereal. And they can get the different products. They can get CBD, or they can get the HHC version of it. There's also discount codes on there for the different amounts, depending on how many, if they want to get 1 box, 2 boxes, 3 boxes, 4 boxes, or 5 boxes. And then they can follow us on social media. They can follow us on Instagram at Weedies _the brand. Or if they want to follow me, which is Weedies, WEDIES _ the creator. And we also on we're on TikTok, we're on Snapchat, we're on Twitter, all of those under Weedies _ the brand.
Yes, and y'all, when I say you need to try these products out, they are amazing. That's the whole reason I got in touch with him. I did just like he did with another company. Once I tasted this product, I had to find out how to get in touch with him. And look at this. He blessed me with an interview today, and I know your time is very short, and I'm so appreciative for this.
Yeah. Anybody that's in the cereal and they into cannabis, they definitely should try out our products. And we got, like I said, we got the different flavors. So definitely they'll see a flavor that they like and that they want to try. And yes, it is the real deal. It is the real deal. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna like the product also. Like I said, it's flavored. Everybody like it. We've got a ton of reviews on Google. I haven't ran across a person that didn't like the flavors, or bought a box and they didn't like it. They didn't get a result that they wanted.
That's 100% true right there. I know it is, because when I tried them, I loved them.
And some people actually were mad at me because they worked too good.
Oh yeah, these motherfuckers fuck you up. At first, I mean, it don't even take the whole hour. In about 30 minutes, you feeling amazing, but just don't sit down. Just don't sit down. Oh yeah. But man, I appreciate it very much, and on the website, on the social media pages. I'll be advertising your stuff, so everybody's gonna know the website. Everybody's gonna know the products.
Okay. Cool.
And I'm just so happy to be part of the wave.
Okay, yeah. Appreciate it, man. I'm glad I could come on the show. I'm glad you invited me. Give you a little bit of advice, give your audience a little bit of advice, and introduce them to the brand. So I'm thankful for that.
Thank you so much, brother. Well, it was a blessing talking with you. Thank you for joining us on HydroConvo. And till next time.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.